Hello and welcome to another edition of Droppin' Baums with me, your host, Corey Baumeister, as always with the lovely folks here at TCGplayer.com. So today I'm bringing you one spicy number here today, blue-white auras. If you're sick of the conventional decks that have been taking over the standard metagame, since because this late into a standard format, it is essentially solved. You know, we found the best deck. It's red-black aggro. You found the counter deck, Esper control, but loses to some other stuff. If you want a deck that's really spicing it up, check out this deck. So I was originally turned on to this deck by Omar Valencia. I played him a couple times when I was testing for the GP last time. I was playing Esper control, and he just demolished me. 2 times in a row, 2 different leagues. So I mentioned, or I asked him, I was like, any chance I could get this deck? It looks awesome. And it did not disappoint. Other of you might know him. He's a great moto grinder, known as _OVC_. A grinder that I'm sure you guys have lost to just as many times as I have lost to back in the day. But let's get to the list here. So the list pretty much revolves around the Senior Edificer here, Adanto Vanguard, Novice Knight, just these great creatures that when put auras on them, gain extra value like the Edifice here, or just become unbeatable threats. This card is unbelievable. Against red-black, you go turn 2 this, turn 3 Squire's Devotion, you get a creature so that your Vanguard can't be doomfalled, which you'll see a little bit in the later rounds here, exactly how well that kind of effect works. And then it's lifelink too, so I mean, if your opponent decides to start chump blocking, you pay 4 life, it dies, you gain the 4 life back, and that's just one enchantment. Think of the crazy things you can be doing by strapping on a bunch more. We'll start from the top. We got White Cartouche, adds another creature as well, another protection against Doomfall effects. The Novice Knight here, like I mentioned. A couple Arcane Flights. Didn't think you'd see that in a deck list, did you? One of the best cards in the deck, Curious Obsession. This card is absolutely bonkers, and it finally found a very good home. We got a couple Dive Downs. We got a Spell Pierce. Got to be able to protect some of these creatures that can't protect themselves. 4 Vanguard, 4 Knight of Grace, 4 Edificers here. 2 Aether Tunnel, a nice M19 edition here. 3 Cartouche of Knowledge. 3 Squire of Devotions here. With a good 22 mana base here. With a couple of utility lands here. The deck's phenomenal. We move to the sideboard, and you can't sideboard too much here, so you have cards for specific matchups. Baffling End is a card that I dabble with a little bit against red-black, but it's mainly for mono-green. This deck just really can't beat Steel Leaf Champion. It's just too fast. So having a 2-mana answer to that is imperative. A 4 Squire Devotion for red-black, anything aggressive. A couple settles here for, mono green, any kind of token-based strategies. More dive downs, more spell pierces, and negates. This package right here all comes in against control when you take out, stuff like Squire's Devotion, Aether Tunnel, Arcane Flight, stuff that doesn't gain value on itself. The cards that are really for creature-based strategies. Then you just get to take all that out and bring in all this disruption. And trust me, from being from the Esper control side, you do not want to be playing against this deck post-board. So give it a shot. It's one of the funnest decks I've ever played. And stay tuned for some exciting 3 matches of Magic. All right, and let's get to the games. I hope you're as excited as I am about this deck because it is sweet. All right. This all looks good to me. I think what we're really missing here is a second blue source to... All we needed is by turn 3 to strap it to the Vanguard and begin to start generating card advantage. Regardless, this hand looks awesome and I'm excited. This deck is pretty much standard boggles. You don't need a lot to go off. You just need a few key pieces. I'm sure our opponent is not going to put us on this deck with this farmland. But there is a certain deck we can put them on. Okay, Novice Knight, not terrible. Would have been a much better turn 1 play. Esper. I played against, this is actually how I figured out this list. I played against the guy, and I was playing Esper, and he was playing this blue-white auras list, and he destroyed me so bad I had to ask for the list. So I'm pretty excited to try this here. I think I just Curious Obsession this. There's not much you can do to actually kill this card right now. Probably shouldn't have played the land there, actually. Alright, we're going to get on in there. Adanto Vanguard is such a hard card to kill. I expect after rotation this card to be a staple in a lot of decks. Oh, we're just looking for no seal away. Ooh, okay, we got a teched out version. That's pretty bad. Yep. Yep, most Esper lists do not play that, so I was kind of gambling there, but oh well. Yeah, that was a blowout. Arcane Flight. Well, I think we're just going to attack this time. Curious Obsession is really the card that gains us the card advantage, so if we don't have that, it's not really worth getting 2 for 1 again. So we'll get this Novice Knight out here. And I think we'll just say go. We're looking for a land here to be able to protect one of our spells with Dive Down. Could just protect it now. I don't mind that at all. Not ideal, but we'll take it. Ooh. Yeah, Seal Away is really good against this deck. We could have a tough round ahead of us here. Not many people are playing Seal Away in Esper. Now our opponent has Contempt mana, so pretty sure we're just in trouble here. But there's no point in not playing one of these spells because we do nothing if we don't, so you have to go for it. And Cartouche is the best card, so we might as well try it. Syncopate. Okay, that's not as bad. Still can't attack, so that's not great. Love that our opponent syncopated for 3, just in case. In case I have white Dark Ritual here. Well, I think we're gonna try the Squire's Devotion. Disallow, and the one and only Arcane Flight. Hopefully swing this game around. Now we just need this to go the distance. Yeah, if only this could be more Curious Obsessions. It's just the same card with extra abilities. Alright. And now we got nothing. I'm still tilted about these Seal Aways. How on earth could our opponent really kill these Adanto Vanguards without it? I mean, Contempt still does it, but we had the 1 dive down for the 1 Contempt. Alright, Teferi should just lock it up. Alright, we're not getting out of this one. We'll let them have it. Sideboarding, we get a lot of tools for this deck. Negate is just still one of the best cards. Alright, negate, spell pierces, dive downs. These devotions are unneeded. Tunnelers aren't really needed just because they don't have enough creatures that actually block us. So we really want just the best of the enchantments. All the protection spells, still all the creatures. Suppose it's probably Arcane Flight here. It's probably the weakest. Yeah, I like it. All right. Gotta love that mana curve. Ones and twos. Ones and twos. All right. We would like to play first. Okay. This is fine. We don't have the equipment quite yet, but we do have some powerful stuff. And when I say powerful stuff, obviously I'm talking about Novice Knight. But we got some disruption here. We're not going to put our senior Edificer in harm's way until we can protect it with this. So that's more than likely going to be a turn 3 play. This we'll throw out there because we don't have anything to make it great yet. So now we'll just throw the Novice Knight out there. More than likely next turn, unless we draw anything, we're just going to be going Glacial Fortress Go. Just because our opponent can untap with so many different spells here. A farmland. Yeah, we're going to go Glacial Fortress Go and cycle this farmland here. Not the ideal follow-up for this deck. Alright, we're going to go cycle here. Our opponent is just going to kill the Novice Knight while they can. We're happy about that. Alright, now we get another protection spell. And a Knight of Grace. Okay. I think we probably actually want to just get the Knight of Grace down. We don't have anything to go off with for Sram here. Hope I'm saying that right. Senior Edificer. But this does have a higher upside if we start drawing stuff. Alright, we'll play the better card. Just because we have so much protection right now. As long as our opponent doesn't have end-step Fatal Push into another spell, we can protect it here. Alright. Aura. Ooh, that's a nice one. Okay, we're going to go for it. Get to draw a card. We really want another blue source here. Disallow. Disallow targeting the Curious Obsession. So while we have mana, I'm kind of thinking we negate here. Because we could draw... actually, I think this is a reason to not do that. I think we want to play Spell Pierce here just because if we draw Plains, then we could play Knight of Grace. That's the only scenario where it's better to do Spell Pierce. Is that worth it? We're drawing 2 cards here, remember. We're drawing 1 off playing it and 1 off... Yeah, we're going to be as mana efficient as possible since we're drawing 2 cards. Alright, so we'll Spell Pierce it. Ooh, that was nice. Okay. Gonna play that for sure. I would like to draw a card. Alright. Now we're just going to try to protect this as long as we can. This deck is sweet. Definitely seems like a deck that has a high fail rate, but seems like a high risk, high reward type of deck. Okay. Yep, just attack right away. Draw that card. And now we have a counter for Teferi next turn too, which is great. Yes. and a Vanguard. Now, we're probably going to just play one of these threats. I don't think it matters too much which one it is, because we can still play 2 of our protection spells. I think we'll do Vanguard. It's just more damage. And if our opponent were to counter that, we would not even fight for it. It's not that big of a deal to us. All right. Glimmer. I don't think we're supposed to waste our time countering stuff like this. Just use all your protection to protect your cards. So Glimmer is completely fine with us. Now the worst card for us probably is Fatal Push. Since it costs so little mana, we can only, you know, 3. They would still need 3 Fatal Pushes. So we'll see how bad it goes. We'll start with a dive down. Negate. Okay, might as well use our spell Pierce while we can. Don't have another one, please. Hooray! And no land. We love this. And another disruption spell. How could we lose? Well, easier to not lose when they concede on the spot. Okay. That game seems a lot easier than the first one. Let's reevaluate. I don't think... I mean, these are great against any kind of creature decks. Being able to have a life swing is really good against red-black. You know, these are great up against, you know, maybe, let's say, mono-blue, where they have a bunch of chump blockers that can get away of our Curious Obsession. This card's just not good, but I see where the mindset is, but Curious Obsession is just the better one, so I think we have our best cards in our main deck right now. And I think there's a world we actually would have won that first game if we didn't walk right into that. See, I think this hand is unplayable. You need a creature. This one's okay. Nothing great, but don't think we need that. All right. Land go. Nice thing about Knight of Grace is as long as they don't have counter magic, it's just resolving and then we can start protecting it. But overall, this hand is pretty clunky. As clunky as a deck that only has your high cost of 2 can be, but... Okay. Now it can't really be killed except when we're attacking. Novice Knight. I think we'll just attack. See if our opponent has a seal away. Doesn't, or at least doesn't want to go for it now. So I think there's nothing we're really afraid of next turn like a Teferi. So I think we want to progress still. So we're going to just go for another Knight of Grace here. We're okay with it getting disallowed or something, and then there's nothing that super punishes us next turn since we don't have an aura on it right now. So we'll let that happen, and of course untapping and having like a seal away would be bad, but we don't win just by holding up our 2 mana. Okay, so our opponent is more than likely going to Glimmer. Okay, and I think this might be a situation where we do want to counter the Glimmer. Just because we have so many negates. So we're going to attack. And then we are going to play the Novice Knight here. Yeah, and only having 1 blue source is another motivation to cast one of these. Yep, we're going to get rid of that. No cards for you. Now, Teferi sticking is pretty bad, but with a Cartouche, we can attack it for 5. Okay, not the case. And our opponent missed a land drop, so countering that is probably pretty big. I still don't have... We really want another blue source so we can Cartouche and back it up. Since we can't do that, I think we just attack here. And probably just counter another Glimmer. I don't really like playing a Knight of Grace here, but although it's not terrible. Let's think this one through. So we play a Knight of Grace, our opponent glimmers. Our opponent finds land. Likely another black source for a contempt. Or we negate it. Maybe our opponent misses more land drops. And if we top deck a blue source, then we could Cartouche and have a negate backup and start a serious clock. I like the negate sounds better to me right now. Not 100% sure that play is correct, but... Seal away. Yep, we're going to counter that too. Okay. Now we're getting to that point where we just have to start casting these things. Trying to avoid getting 2 for 1 is all I really want to do here, so I think I'm just going to cast a Knight of Grace. Just nickel and diamond here for 2. Then we can represent a Spell Pierce, I guess. Alright, Knight of Grace. Might warrant a counter spell. Sure. Ooh, another seal away. Oh, okay. That's okay. More than likely getting to that 5th land. Wow. So our opponent is just full of gas here. Yeah, at this point we just have to go for it. I don't like it, but we're gonna Cartouche it. Oh, that's the best case scenario. Actually countering it instead of killing the creature. Alright. Now our opponent's going to have Contempt next turn. So we're going to go for the same play here. Just because we really need to draw a land. Alright. Yeah, if we had 2 blue and 1 plains, this would have been such a different game. We could have played this so differently. But now we're in trouble. Our opponent has access to everything. Ugh. Lame. We can't counter a Gear Hulk. Maybe we just have to hope our opponent's hand is all Vraska's Contempts and put this Curious Obsession on the Knight of Grace. It's the most aggressive play. Well, the most aggressive play, I guess, would be Curious Obsession the Knight. God, I think we just attack with Knight of Grace one more time. Hold up counter magic this time. Because I would expect a Contempt here at the least, but a Gear Hulk and a Glimmer would have been what we really don't want. So yeah, we're just gonna go for some counter magic here. We're actually getting to the point where all we have to do is just protect this spell and just finish the game in 3 turns. We don't even really need an aura. Yep, here comes a Contempt. Alright, we're gonna dive down. Alright. It's probably going to be a main phase dive down. Our opponent played a 7th land. That's interesting. I guess definitely could be a Gear Hulk now. Lame. Well, same play. Nothing really has changed. Just gonna say go. This game would be hilarious if it ended with 10 hits from Knight of Grace. Oh, looks like another one. Try it again. Opponent was down to 1 card here. So 1 mystery card and something they've been hanging on to for a while. Likely not a land. Playing another tap land. It's weird to me. What is our opponent trying to get up to that much mana for, besides cycling these? Okay, now this is a good reason to play Curious Obsession here. Yep, we're going for this stuff. Slap it on this. Our opponent could have Settle here, but I think it's worth the risk. We're going to go for it. I guess a Gear Hulk. Gear Hulk's pretty good. Ooh, Chromium. Well, that makes sense. Now we do get to hit for 3 with this, and our opponent is handless. Okay. So next turn, if our opponent just sends it to us, we have a negate backup, and we can just attack with these 2 things. As long as it's not a Gear Hulk. Yeah, Gear Hulk would do us in pretty good. Just because we can't counter any of that. But if it's not Gear Hulk, we just win. Let's go for it. Oh, yes. Oh, that was a sweet victory. That was a sweet victory. All right, stick around for round 2. See if it's as exciting as that one. All right, round 2. Let's do it. Okay, we have a creature and we have a bunch of auras, so I think we're supposed to keep this. Definitely could go bad, but at least some of these auras create more creatures, so if we can resolve 1, we can have more creatures to strap more auras to, so we're going to keep this. Mana base is a little bad with just having planes right now, but... Alright. Red-black, let's do it. Public enemy number 1. Okay. So more than likely, we're not going to just play the Senior Edificer right into a deck that's all removal. But if we get something like an Adanto Vanguard, like that would be ideal. Red-black can't really beat that card. No such luck. 2 mana open on a Braid would just wreck us, so let's not even do that. At least next turn, if our opponent taps off or something, we can go Edificer into Cartouche here. Draw a card, get a creature. If our opponent just holds up mana again, though, then it's going to be kind of rough. Hope for a Spell Pierce or something. But we're not getting pressured yet, so we have time. Okay. So unless our opponent has Magma Spray, which would be pretty bad, we just have to go for it here. Okay. Edificer. Strap the Cartouche. Now something like a Chandra would be pretty good, killing the Edificer, but then we can retaliate on it with the token. We kind of had to figure that that was going to be dead. But now we can just start strapping this creature. Ooh, that's a good one. So we're going to Curious Obsession and Squire's Devotion, I think, is probably the best. Or we can Cartouche. Nah, I think we'll Squire's Devotion and then Curious Obsession. Yeah, that sounds the best. So we are starting to get a little low on life. Alright, doesn't give it flying, but I doubt our opponent's going to want to block with Baums here. So likely drawing a card. A mini make-your-own Baneslayer here. Okay, we can kind of do the exact same play on the other one next turn. No Glorybringer. That's okay. No Abrade. Uh-oh. That's bad. That's really bad. Being stuck with all auras is definitely a problem that this deck can run into. So basically, if we don't draw a creature here, we're just dead. Okay, well, we're in the game. Now we're just going to strap this Devotion to it. Makes it big enough to have a blocker as well if our opponent doesn't have another removal spell. Our opponent can start going to town with Baums, though. Ooh, an Unlicensed there, I think, is just game. Pretty much. Nope, actually game. Okay, yeah, I mean, our opponent had a lot of removal. What can you do? Alright. I do anticipate this being a bad matchup. Probably why this deck hasn't, you know, swung to the top in a while, but I do think Vanguard, like, what would our opponent have been able to do to a Vanguard strapped with a Devotion? Nothing. Like, you gladly pay 4 when you're gaining 4 every turn. Alright, cards that seem bad. Tunneling doesn't seem like the best kind of effect. Dive Down seems very good. I do like some defense here, like some Baffling Ends or Settles. Probably Settle. Just want to max out on Dive Downs. Spell Pierces doesn't seem terrible. I think I still like all of our creatures. Spell Pierce isn't bad for hitting Chandras as well. And we're on the play, so we don't really want to be too defensive with this kind of stuff. I think on the draw, we'll try to bring in more of that stuff. Oh, I'll bring in the Devotion. Yeah, I think we're just going to do something like this. You can't over-sideboard against this matchup, I feel. The goal is to connect Vanguard and Devotion. I swear against every matchup, you have a combo that you really want. And we got part of it here, so we're keeping this. Yeah, if we draw a land, then we can do that combo. That seems quite good to me. Land. Well, now we're going to play an Edificer just because we have another one in their legendary. And it'll help us get to land. More than likely, it'll just be a removal spell being pointed at this immediately. Which we're okay with. He's thinking, should I go for the 2-for-1? The answer is yes. Ooh. Yeah, I don't think we want to put ourselves open for a 2-for-1 here, so we'll just attack. And we'll just drop a Vanguard. Yeah. Our other play of cartouching that would not have worked out very well. We'd have drawn a card and just lost our... We would have got tempoed out. We could have drawn a card to like maybe get into a third land, which would have been pretty good, but... Is this a Doomfall? That would be bad. Ugh. Lame. It's the only thing we didn't want. Okay, top deck a land here. Just gotta play Knight of Grace. We want to play this when we get open mana so we can at least gain some card advantage on it. Okay. Now give us a land. Untap land. We're in trouble now. Gotta go for it. We can't just win the game by just saying go. Now if our opponent goes Glorybringer or something, it's just over. Okay. Well, at least we can do some stuff here. Alright, we're cooking now. We can either go Devotion or 2 spells. I kind of like 2 because it draws us the most cards here. So we're going to go Cartouche first. Yeah, then we'll Curious Obsession this. Or we could just protect it. Protecting it's actually pretty good. Just protect it on defense. And then next turn Devotion and just never not protect the card. Glorybringer is still bad, but... Yeah, we probably should just protect this. Okay. Defense. Defense. Now, Spell Pierce is pretty much irrelevant at this point. Alright, well, seems like our opponent doesn't have a lot of action. Yep. By the amount of times our opponent pumps this is really going to tell us a lot about their hand. Okay, so they got a 2-mana Disruption more than likely, which we can Spell Pierce. Or just another Scrounger. That's okay. Right, now we get to get the Devotion going to... well, maybe not. We'll see what we do. I think I like Devotion. Because it does... Vigilance. It does not give it Vigilance. Could put the Vigilance on the Warrior here. Maybe we don't really need Vigilance right now. Draw a card for casting it. And now we have a choice. We could Curious Obsession it here. And then that plays around Chandra and it plays around Glorybringer. It just doesn't play around Unlicensed. But it gets us to draw maybe 2 cards here. I think it's worth it to get it out of range here. And we get to gain 5 life. So we'll get on in there. See if our opponent wants to block with Pia. Nope. Draw a card, gain 5 life. And hope for the best. Cycle is fine. Pretty much anything but Unlicensed we're okay with. That's okay too. Alright, our opponent is handless. Alright, I don't think our opponent can really race this, but they're sure gonna try. Gonna take it. So we got our opponent on a 2-turn clock here. All right, we're going to start with the Curious Obsession. Draw a card. Now that Cartouche we might want to play on this Novice Knight, because then it can block everything, so we are going to do that. Novice Knight. Cartouche. Draw a card. Another Edificer. We're going to attack, see what we draw here. Take 6, draw 2 cards. This is pretty nuts. Okay. Lands we didn't necessarily want. Play the island. Now we have the option of cycling if our opponent does nothing. Or we have 2 protection spells. Spell Pierce seems pretty bad. You really have to get something early, so maybe we should take that out. Just a land. Opponent can make some stuff not block, but I don't think there's a way we're losing this game at this point. Yeah, this really feels like Boggles. Okay. That's fine. We'll block. Opponent's just going to pump one of the other creatures a lot. No cards in hand, so they'll have nothing else to do. We'll just cycle here for F6 value, of course. Another dive down. Well, this is fun. Yeah, if we had that like Aether Tunneler, you know, that could probably give us the win here, but slow and steady wins the race. Okay. Now, can't do anything right now, so we'll start with a cycle. Oh, nothing new we can play. So we're just going to attack with our 2 creatures here. I mean, that's 9 damage, so that forces our opponent to block with something. That's a weird looking block. Okay. So our opponent just takes 3. Didn't draw any cards, so we'll just say go. Another land. Just means our opponent's just going to pump this Thopter a bunch. Probably not. Needs it to block. Yeah, our opponent's just dead. Or at least can only attack with Scrounger to stay alive. Yep. You can't attack with that, my friend. But try it anyways. Attacking with that will leave you dead. I could block and dive down for funsies. For funsies, why not? We don't want to show them we have it. Yeah, it's only 7. Can't die. Yeah. Just F6 back. Attack with everything. Alrighty. Game 3. Yeah, Spell Pierce does not seem great. Not a fan of that. Now I don't mind having something like Settle for a little blowout effect. Or Baffling End, but that seems worse. I think a couple Settle seems pretty good on the draw. We could cut an Arcane Flight. Seems like the worst of the enchantments. Since our opponent does have Thopters. Kind of want both of them out of the deck. And bring in one Baffling End. Just another little defensive play. But you can't get too defensive with this deck. Baffling Ends are mainly for Steel Leaf Champions. Because you just cannot beat that card. It's just too fast on turn 2. So you have to have a plan for that. So that's what the Baffling Ends are really for. Same with the Settles. That's what their main purpose is. But being able to just get a deck like that seems very good to me. Alright. Snap keeps. We will keep as well. And we only have one creature, so this becomes a situation where you really have to protect it. Okay, well. Vanguard protects itself constantly. God, that card's good. Let's hopefully it gets us there. Scrounger. Now, we'd be walking right into a Doomfall, I guess, but our opponent would have to have Swamp Doomfall, so I mean, that's a lot. We're going to go for it, because if our opponent doesn't have that, we can strap Devotion to it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, we got to take a little extra damage here, but we're going to add the Devotion. And then that protects it, because it's a creature. So it can't be Doomfalled. And this is indestructible now, so yeah, he should have attacked already. Block, indestructible. Okay. So let's make sure this is the correct play. I think it is, because lifelink, you gain 4. But I think there definitely could be a world where we just go Obsession, Cartouche, Cartouche. That seems pretty good. Because then that Chain Whirler can't block. Or Devotion. We still get the creature. Chain Whirler can block. We just pay 4 life, gain the 4 life back. But we don't draw cards. All the plays sound great, but I'm just not sure which is the best. We only have blue mana, so we do kind of want to use up blue mana as much as we can, since we can only do 1 a turn. But I think it's best to just devote this thing. And then that token gets lifelink. Yeah, we're going to do that. Attack! Would you like to block? Either going to 19 or staying at 15, but you'd be losing a Chain Whirler. Okay. It's probably a good call. A 4th mountain does not scare me that much. A Chandra or something? Sure. Down tick, up tick, whatever. Magma Spray. If the creature would die, Indestructible makes it so it does not die. Okay. It's a pretty defeating combo to play against as a red-black deck, because now we just get to attack back at that Chandra. Okay, so we need to put 1 more power onto this to deal with Chandra, and then probably Curious Obsession over here so we can draw a card. So we're gonna Curious Obsession this. And we're going to Cartouche this. Then we're gonna attack. So this at Chandra. this at our opponent. This has lifelink as well, I'm pretty sure. Yep. So we're gaining 7. Oh, that was first strike damage. Okay, I was like, why didn't we get to gain a life? Or why didn't we get to draw a card? That was perfect. So now we can cartouche this token and then leave a dive down. Or we could play a knight, I think. I'm thinking playing a knight here. So this is a hard thing to kill. And it can play defense on this. But I guess if we cartouche, it creates the same effect. And then we have dive down as protection. Okay. We'll cartouche it. And once again, I think we're in a position where we just could not possibly lose. And we got a Glory B coming down. Great card. But I don't think it's going to be enough. So what is our opponent going to try to exert on? So now do we pay the life or do we dive down? I think we pay the life. And one thing we can do here, we can double block with our tokens and dive down whichever one our opponent orders first and then kill the Chain Whirler. That's leaving us taking 8 damage. Yeah, that all sounds good to me. Yeah, this is going to be a nice, tricky little play. We're not going to lose any of our creatures here. All right, indestructible. Double block this thing. See which order our opponent puts it in. It's probably just going to stay like that. Okay, we'll dive down this first one. Protect that. Oh, that was awesome. Why does the standard format have to be done? I want to play this deck at a Grand Prix. This deck seems insane. All right, stick around for our third and final round. Let's see if we can get the 3-0. And we're back for our third and final round. Let's hope to close it out with a nice 3-0. I would love to play first. Yep, this is one of those hands you definitely got a mulligan. All protection and enchantment, no creatures. Ew. I mean, this hand is really good if we get a plains. I think it's better than a mulligan to 5 here, so I'm going to keep this. Because if we get a plains, we really get to do some stuff here. Nope. We only have 2 draws to do it, though, so it's definitely a gamble, but I think it's worth it. Likely not going to have a lot of time. Boom. Nope. This could be bad. This could be a bad one. But these are the kind of cards that get you right back into it. More than likely, we'd be playing the Novice Knight right away. Heart of Kiran. Okay. That's not good. That's alright. If we don't get the plains relatively soon, we don't have to show our opponent what we're playing, and then they'll sideboard like a bunch of duresses and stuff, thinking we're a control deck. So that'd be kind of cool. But if we got a plains next turn, we could still win the game, so we'd still play it. Well, I guess maybe we're supposed to mulligan, but I think it's worth the gamble to actually have a good functioning 6-card hand than a pretty mediocre 5. Alright, I think here's the point where we can safely concede. Pretty shocked our opponent didn't Heart of Kiran there. Now the question is to go for it or not. I think we will. If our opponent doesn't have something to deal with Knight of Greys, we can just strap it and go for gold here. Yeah, we came to play. Or maybe we just play a Novice Knight and equip. Or still maybe not play anything at all just to not give away information. We're very far behind. Alright, we'll go for it. Knight of Grace doesn't for sure mean we're playing a different deck. Some blue-white control list could play it. Could still be able to fool our opponent a little bit. Now, if this is a Chandra, then we get to safely concede. Probably still good enough. 5-6. Now, if we top deck a Plains, we can go Knight and equip it. Nope, dead. Alright, red-black. We're going to be on the play, so I think we just want to kind of go all in. Spell Pierces weren't very good last time, so I'm going to take those out. I guess there is only one. Arcane Flight's not very good. Doesn't give us that much of an advantage. This tunneling is not very good as well. Could see a world where some negates are good, but it doesn't stop Glorybringer. You know, we might just try a couple. I don't want any of these tunnels. We'll try a couple of Baffling Ends. And we'll try one Spell Pierce. A little random, but hey, we're playing an all aura deck. That's about as random as it gets. Alright, we'd like to go first. This hand looks good. We have the MVP in here. Adanto Vanguard. Alright. Alright, we don't want to walk our senior Edificer into anything, so we'll just play the unkillable spell. Should have played Glacial Fortress there. Likely to not matter very much, but now next turn we'll probably play the Edificer and the Cartouche. Or we just go double Cartouche and have a 4-turn clock on us. I'd be interested to see how our opponent sideboarded. Yeah, attack that Bowmat in. I'll trade 4 life for a Bowmat. Sure. I'll block. Pay 4. God, this card's good. Okay, Knight of Grace. So I think we're going to play the Edificer here. Gain some advantage. And then play the Cartouche. Oh yeah, the combo has been assembled. Next turn we get to win the game with Squire of Devotions on the Vanguard. Alright. Now our opponent virtually has to kill this Edificer, otherwise it just gains so much advantage. Yep. But now we just get to devote this Vanguard. Still think it's the play, even though we could go double spell. Well, we're not being pressured here, so maybe double spell is just better. Get a cartouche on this. Knight of Grace. Attack for 6. Kindling Phoenix is pretty good. This does have first strike. So we can just Baffling End the egg that it's going to lay. Can't really attack with anything else, but I don't think that's that big of a deal. Devotion. We'll attack with this. Could sacrifice a Knight of Grace. Nah. Flying first strike. Okay, first strike damage. Alright, we'll get this egg out of there. Alright. And good luck. Next turn we can use Shafet Dunes to attack through, even if our opponent plays something annoying like another Phoenix. Alright. So against Phoenixes, I can see where Tunnel would be decent against Phoenix. So maybe 1 or 2 of those as a random way to get through that, just in case that card were to brick wall us a little bit. Baffling End doesn't seem great. So maybe we'll go 1 settle on the draw. I kind of like that. It's a little random, but the main part of our deck is doing, you know, the aura stuff here, so. We can't have too many reactive spells, otherwise our deck doesn't exactly do what we want it to do. Yeah, now our opponent is definitely reevaluating the sideboard plan. Probably did not put us on that deck here going into that game 3. Ugh. That's no fun. We want a good game. We want a good final game. Well, this is fine. Need a little bit more action, but we're attacking for 3 on turn 2. Okay, that's a little more action. Novice Knight. That card is pretty tough to kill. Kari's Ev. Okay. Now we could just cartouche and then protect it with dive down, or we could just Cartouche of Knowledge. I think the best is white cartouche and then play another knight. And then if this one were to die, we can strap a cartouche to the other one. I'm all about it. Okay. Yeah, attack. And then we're going to want to make sure and get this up to a 5 power so Chandra couldn't deal with it. Or protect it with dive down. But this would definitely be the turn that our opponent would disintegrate this if they have it, or cut. Yep. So now no attacks. Ooh, Vanguard. Yeah, I think we just play a Vanguard here. And then cartouche it next turn. We have the dive down to protect against something here. Now, Chain Ruler is very good right now. Another cut, not as bad. I will definitely just take the 3 here if we have to. We could have dived down that to protect it. Probably should have. But that's okay. Okay. Now we're going to take to the skies. And another one. Alright, attack for 4. We're just going to play this other one. Not protecting anything that can't be protected already. Our opponent is stuck on 3 lands. So something like a Chain Whirler is annoying, but I don't think it's too bad for us right now. So all we have to do is protect this one. Now, if our opponent attacks with that, yeah, it would be the wrong order. Well, now the question is, do we attack with both or one? So we can use Dive Down so we don't have to take 4. And it gets rid of a threat, so yeah, I think we get on there. Probably use the Dive Down. Preserve the life total. Yeah, I think so. Dive down. Okay, falls to 9. Play a Novice Knight. I want this 3-0 real bad. Unconventional decks, when you beat all the big name decks, is just so satisfying. We are out of steam, but we do have a lot of cards that can't really be dealt with right now. 15, still a pretty healthy life total. Something like a Chandra is annoying, but definitely not the end of the world. Down to 12. That's not scary. Okay. Okay. Definitely want something good here. That is not something good. Well, if we attack with both, our opponent crews and probably blocks the smaller of one. And then we're kind of in trouble. So I think we can only attack with one. Now, really missing a Squire's Devotion here. Because you can get tempoed out pretty easily with Vanguards if you... Yep. Yeah, we likely need to top deck or we're going to lose at this point. Especially if we got a Glory B coming here. No such horrendous luck. I think we have to block. Yep. Squire's Devotion, a Settle would be good. Did have the Doom Falls. I think we need a Squire's Devotion now. One time. Might keep us alive. We have to still get aggressive. But yeah, now we're just dead to any removal, which is unfortunate. But then we have a lot of outs to win the game. So... Oh, wait. No, we're dead on board. I forgot about all the cuts. Dang it. Yep, we lost. Damn. Yeah, we had a mulligan. We didn't have the best of starts. Not much you could do. I'd like to play a 10-game set against Red-Black and see who would come out on top. Gotta be nice to have a Spell Pierce here. Maybe our opponent misses it. You never know. Always make them kill you. Opponent has the win and goes for just killing us this way. You'd think you would Spyglass first, right? I would still just go for the win, but... Knight of Grace. Yeah, I mean, our opponent could, I guess, in theory, miss both of these ribbons in the yard, and we could chump block, but... Our opponent has seen the line. Ah, well. Ah, well. Well, this deck is awesome. I'm still going to be playing this deck just for fun after this because I thoroughly enjoy the busted draws that this deck can have. It reminds me a lot of Boggles where it is very vulnerable at times, but the power level is there, and it absolutely crushes some decks. Like Esper Control. Like, it has every tool to beat that deck. Esper Control that doesn't, the standard Esper Control, kind of like the one I played from last week. I'm sure there's some really bad matchups out here, but I would guess your favorite against Red-Black, but I think the deck's worst matchup is just itself sometimes. But if you're willing to take that swing, give this deck a shot. It's insanely cheap on Moto, like... With all the stuff I had, I think it cost me a total of 3 tickets to make it. So go out, have some fun in your standard format here before everything rotates and it becomes very different. Yeah, I want to thank you all so much for watching. This has been me for Droppin' Bombs. See you later.